All right, guys, welcome back to the Spin Zone podcast with me, Cake Eater, and we got Vile and Martine today. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. How about you, Vile?
I'm doing pretty good. Um, Minnesota's kind of in a rough spot right now, so I'm personally doing fine. But there's some things going on, as I'm sure some of you people out there know. So keeping an eye on that.
Yep, absolutely. But not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about one of the biggest people here in the Minnesota scene. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Egg. How are you doing there, sir?
Hey, how's it going? I'm
Hey,
Egg.
what's going on, man? So, for
Oh,
those who do not know, plain egg salad, or we just call him Egg now. He is a big like vendor player here in the Minnesota scene, and being a vendor, he has a lot of product, which kind of brings into our sponsor, which is beybladepodcast.com. And unfortunately, Chad is not here today to kind of do his whole little spiel, so I will try to fill in for him.
Oh
Be
boy, I can't wait to see this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to visit Bays and Bricks today and use code SPINZONE, that is SPINZONE, today at checkout for 7% off your total order. Uh, this coupon is used twice per account. So make sure you get all those zombie curses and meteor dragoons and anything else that you need. Code SPINZONE at checkout for 7% off your total purchase.
Now,
And
speaking of which, Cake, hasn't our code been used so much now that they offered to send us like a gift or something?
yeah, so I'm actually in contact with them right now, and we're we're gonna see what they actually go ahead and send us. It could be gift cards, it could be actual product. I'm not 100% sure, so we will kind of keep you guys up in the loop on that. So everyone that
Is that
has,
now, Cake? When that comes in, is that something we're planning on giving away on stream? Is
oh,
that
absolutely,
the idea?
oh yeah, absolutely, any kind of
Okay.
love and support that has been given to the channel, I've always been to give it back to the channel. I'm not one of those kind of streamers or anything that kind of takes it because of what we do and everything. I'm planning on giving it back to the community.
That's very good of you.
Yeah,
We should
absolutely.
try to get a
hi.
like a stadium set or something.
With that, your coupon code was Spin Zone. I have used it twice, and on my last purchase, I have gotten all of the combos of
Whoa.
the latest booster pack, and it
Nice.
was worth it.
Hey, absolutely. Every little bit helps, and using the code SPINZONE at checkout at baysandbricks.com does show some love and support. So we do appreciate all you guys for using the code SPINZONE at baysandbricks.com for any of your Beyblade purchases needs. So, Egg, for those who do not know who you are, go ahead, take the floor, tell them who you are and what you are all about.
I was not prepared for this question, even though it's the most basic question. My name is Plain Egg Salad, but I typically go with Naked Egg Salad. I did censor myself because this is a children's game. I didn't think parents would be too comfortable hearing someone named Naked, especially around their kids. So I became Plain. I basically got into Beyblade September 2020, oh, it's 26, so 2024. My first event was up in Alexandria. I got into it. I was looking for some Yu-Gi-Oh cards for a buddy. I'm not into Yu-Gi-Oh. I tried. I just can't do it. And I looked over and I saw a dual pack of Beyblades. I'm like, I want to make some out of giant gears and, using angle grinders and such, the ones you see on TikTok and on online where the fire and all that. So I bought some Beyblades, tried it out, and realized, oh, this is fun. And I got addicted pretty quick, and now I just got a ton of Beyblades. It got to the point where I was getting all the new stuff. A couple of us were getting all the new stuff, but no one, the younger crowd wasn't getting them. A handful of people that just do not purchase anything online weren't getting them. So I'm like, let's get some of the imports in. Let's get some so the community gets some. I just added a couple bucks that way it pays for the shipping, and I can get a little bit more, so I can keep building up the product. And then Vile here started showing up around what, September, August? I can't remember.
Late
Uh,
August, early September. That's pretty much right on
yeah.
point.
Mhm.
So pretty much a year after I started. And you brought in a bunch of stuff as well. And at first it was all different, which was nice. Like I would call your stuff more premium. The painted
Yeah.
bays, the harder to get stuff. I had bought from you a handful of times.
Yeah.
And then I started just splitting all my stuff because it's like, well, people keep asking, well, I want a low rush, I want this bit, I want that blade. Just to make it a little cheaper for people, I was like, well, let's start splitting up packs. And then I decided after Saturday's event, I ended up getting 10 boosters coming in. They came in today. I was going to sell the boosters individually, but I just decided Saturday night, Sunday morning, that these boosters that I bought to sell to people, and instead, I'm going to start parting them out. So you're hearing it first here on Spin Zone that I will be splitting imported bays from now on, instead of just trying to sell them as whole. We already got one vendor that sells them whole. Let's sell some parts. And then for this bay that I just opened up, it's number 5, which is Dreger Dam.
Drandagger.
Yeah, Drandagger.
I gotta go yell at my cat.
Oh,
We're good.
just well, bam.
He
Yep.
just threw a chocolate at a cat. What the hell?
No, I threw the launcher at him.
That's
Oh my
even
God.
worse.
I mean, I'm sure he didn't
Wait.
throw it to hit him. I'm sure he just threw it in general vicinity to scare him off. That's pretty normal.
Correct.
Now, Ag, that's actually a great thing, and I love to hear that because I do sometimes get requests for bits, and to be honest, because I don't part out bays the way you do, if I have the bit they're asking for, a lot of times like that's one of my personal copies, and I don't really want to sell it, but I also don't want to like tell my customers like no F you type of thing. So like having someone who's going to focus more on, hey, any part you want, you can just go talk to Ag. Like I like that. Like
Yep.
that makes it great for everybody.
And like I said, your prices are better for everybody. They're better for you. They're better for the community. They're cheaper than what I can get. I know your sources. You told me your sources. I could do those sources, but I'm sitting here thinking, why? Why would I compete with you having the exact same stuff? It benefits no one. People are just
I mean,
gonna
that's
go to where
fair.
they like, and they're just gonna, I've had someone spend $5 more on an Emperor set because they were already shopping with me and they like me.
Yeah,
You were
absolutely.
right next to me. I felt bad. I'm like, this is all I can do because this is the prices I got them at. But they ended up with some free stuff at the end of the day anyway. It's just to kind of make up for it because
Well, I mean, you always take care of your customers, brother. At the end of the day, everyone has different prerogatives on things. You got some people buy only based on price, and some people are just like, hey, I have a rapport with this guy. I've been working with him a long time. Even if it's a couple bucks more, I'm just going to buy it from him.
Yeah,
It's the same. It's the same thing with the online stores. I'm not going to name any other ones, but there are some that are a little cheaper than others. There are some that are a little more reliable than others, and people just kind of get comfortable with what they like, and that's who they tend to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, Ag, tell me your wildest vending story.
Ooh.
one
One guy mid-game going to buy one of your damn products.
There was that as well during the team event. One of the bladers just kind of left the arena to go buy from me. Well, it was a tackle go combo set, which was
Yeah.
fun.
That was the wildest part.
And I guess whose partner he was.
The funniest thing is that's like a personal friend of mine from the St. Cloud area that I know through Pokemon, and he just is like that. Sometimes he'll just go do what he wants. Like
2 weeks ago, little kid. There was like 3 kids that came in. I ended up loaning a bunch of bays and launchers to them because they just were not prepared. And one of them bought a Soar Phoenix off of me, used it, came back, and they're like, "Well, I want to return this. I want to exchange this." I'm like, "No, it's open. What are you talking about? It's open and you use it. You can't return it."
Oh my god.
Well, can I trade it in? I'm like, no. Sometimes I felt bad, but sometimes you just gotta tell them no.
So I also heard,
Yeah.
I'd overheard the other day, Egg,
Oh.
that there might be an interesting story from Chicago.
That's right. I totally forgot about
Oh
that.
God.
So I brought everything with me to Chicago when we were doing the big Chicago event. It was the 4th of July weekend. And there was this kid there. I don't know if he was 5, 6, 7. He was pretty young. From Canada with his mom and grandma. And mom was just done the second day. Grandma was sitting there knitting a scarf. And the kid was looking at my bays and stuff. He's like, oh, well, I want to buy this. I forgot what it was. And grandma turned to me. She's like, do you accept credit card? I'm like, I shook my head no. And immediately the kid started crying, like just bawling his head off. And I just turned to him. I was like, this kid was crying all weekend. The smallest loss, the smallest no he's heard, he just kind of lost it. And finally, I'll just turn to him firmly. I'm like, we are figuring it out. Just wait. He walks away. Grandma says, I'm so sorry. She leaves. She comes back with the 20. I give her, we do the exchange, give her her change. And then she mentions, well, his birthday's coming up in September. Like 2 months away, 3 months, 3 months away. I'm like,
Yeah.
kid's crabby, he's having a hard time, but grandma's being nice.
Grandma's being
Here's
grandma.
a Shadow Shinobi that I just take the Shadow Shinobi, say it's for happy birthday from Chicago, and she just lost it. She almost started crying. She's like, you're the sweetest guy ever. How can I repay you? I'm like, just take it. Don't worry about it. I didn't tell her. I was like, no, I'm not gonna sell it. It's a metal Shinobi. Nobody wants it.
Oh, it's straight out of
but-
package.
Straight out package, still sealed. And then like about 20 minutes, she finishes the scarf she's making and she just gives it to me. And I still wear it today. It is so nice. It's large. It's fluffy.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
I
Dude,
got it.
shout out to grandma out there buying bays for her grandkid and then knitting a scarf and getting it to some random ass vendor from a convention in a thank you.
It's in my
That's
car.
dude, what a
It is
straight
nice,
up
but it is in my car.
Oh, dude, what a straight G.
Yeah, I wish my grandma was still alive to knit me a scarf or to buy me a Beyblade. I mean, damn, like.
It was nice.
So was that the only convention that you have ever done, or what other kind of conventions have you done?
That was the tournament in Chicago.
Okay.
So that was a 2-day event. They did, I can't remember. I think the second day was Metal Fight and Limited.
Okay.
I think
sounds
the
right.
first day. No, I can't remember what the days were. But it was Limited, Metal Fight, Teams, and Standard. I just forget the order. So we did that, and then the weekend after Christmas, so Christmas weekend, Wayward and Sam and I went to, I forget what it's called. A Komi.
Akuni Con something, a Kome.
Oh yeah.
It's an adult 21 plus anime convention in a hotel. Basically, we just took over the whole hotel, which was very nice. I had a blast. And Sam wanted to do a tournament, and we weren't quite sure on the whole setup, like where we were going to be, how many people were interested. And I was like, well, we got a bunch of panels and stuff going on. Let's not really do a big tournament. Let's kind of do like a demo. And we ended up doing like a demo and a tournament, which worked out. Because when we showed up, everybody was hyped. Everybody was like, holy shit, it's Beyblade. I loved these things when I was a kid. I want to play. They saw the X. They didn't know it was a new series. Since this was an adult anime convention, they thought it was something lewd.
Oh
so
God.
We did lose about half the crowd with that. But it ended up being a lot of fun. No one has shown up yet, but
I thought we had one
could show up in a
person
couple
during
weeks.
New Year's Eve.
We did have one during New Year's.
I thought you
Who-
said that we did, but then again I could be totally
like
wrong.
a new player.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one person there who hadn't been there before, but that's another person I know from Pokemon Go. Yeah,
Oh, gotcha.
that's Jeweled Shark you're thinking of, I think.
That could be.
That
Do
that
you-
was another never mind, another story Ag might
Another
want to
story
tell
for
me.
another day. So do you have
Maybe we'll go with that one. Yeah.
do you have any other plans of doing any other conventions within the near future, or like with more demos, exactly how you did the whatever con that you just did this past the past month, or what do you plan on doing in the near future?
I believe some people are reaching out. We did pull up the list of Minnesota cons, at least for the year that are planned. I pulled out some. I was like, these look like they would probably accept us. Some places maybe not, because Beyblade is a loud game. I've been to Game Center during free plays where we would just meet up on a Saturday where there is no tournament, sometimes on a Sunday. And we've gotten the stink eye once, and then people huffy puffy pack their stuff and leave, but they didn't say anything. So that's just one thing I try to be more wary of with some of these cons. So if it's something where it's like a more quiet, chill, like if it's a chill con, I don't want to go bringing Beyblade because with the sudden like bursting and the smacking together, some people may not find that relaxing.
Right, and that's one of the really only downfalls of Beyblade X, at least. It's just so loud, and there's nothing that we can, as of right now, there's nothing that we can really do about it, which is so unfortunate. But other than that, it's just a fun little hobby and everything.
I mean, you can't make the Beyblades not make noise when they hit each other. You know, I mean, it's just that's impossible. So
No, and then when something interesting happens, like a burst, or the damn thing goes out of the stadium, like up and over, that it's all exciting. Everything gets so happy and and amped up and everything. It's just really hard to kind of keep it quiet. It's hard.
Especially when you rip so hard, all you hear is the plastic O-ring.
Right
You
into
hear that
right into the pocket.
Yeah.
oh, Clock Mirage makes a horrendous noise when it's spinning in the TT pocket. God, is that grating?
Anyway, so enough kind of about conventions and everything. Egg, we were kind of going through the WBO rankings recently, and you made top 100. Was that correct?
Last time I checked, yes. I can actually pull it up here. I do have it saved. I have
Ooh.
mine and my teammates saved. I am currently. Ooh, I went up. I went from 80 some. Now I'm number 75.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
75?
that's
75.
so. What?
That probably would have been because you took fourth in the ranked event a couple of weeks ago now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like the one on the third. You took fourth place out of 48 players. That's probably enough to push your ELO up a little bit. Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I thought it was 84, but if you wait of a week or two, other people are playing, your rank does change. I've noticed.
Yeah, absolutely.
But still, you're in the top 100. So can you kind of tell us a little bit more about like your journeys on how you achieved that, and especially with your teammates? Because I know I know Wayward. He's at least the last that I know, he was like top 5, if not top 10. And I don't know about Emmers. I don't know where he falls at. So you guys,
Emrys was tied with Ag the last
What
time.
was- oh,
Before,
He's 51. Amorous is now 51.
but you two were tied before.
We were tied, yeah.
Yeah.
Wayward is ranked
Dang.
9.
9. Okay, so still in
So
the top 10.
I suppose, yeah, Ag, that makes sense because you guys were tied. Then that ranked event happened. He took second. You took fourth, right? So his ELO probably went up a little bit more.
Jumped way up, yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about like your team, and because you guys are probably one of the best teams here in the Minnesota scene. So can you kind of tell us on like how often you guys meet, any strategies, and anything else that you kind of want to go on about your achievements and your journey to make the top 100 between the three of you guys?
Yeah. So I mean, we all met, at Beyblade, of course. And it just so happened to be, Emrys was wearing a Digimon shirt. I like Digimon. I started talking to him, and Wayward was there. He started talking to us at the same time. I liked Emrys' wreath holder that he has for his stadium. That's what really drew me in. I was like, I like that. I love this idea. You're a thinker. And then we just kind of clicked. A team event showed up. We were hanging out. We're like, hey, team, 3 people. We got 3 people right here. We can make a Digimon theme. So that's where we just kind of smacked together. We did a couple of local practices. There was crack and hits practices. I can't remember if it was like in the middle of the week or on a weekend, but we would all meet up at crack and hits randomly, or I would at least meet with random people. And then we started meeting at Game Center. I've had both Emerus and Wayward here at my apartment. Kyle, there's this guy in west side of the cities. He showed up too. He's only been to one tournament, but he's a great guy. I wish he would show up to tournaments more often. But maybe more free events he'll show up as well. But yeah, we just started hanging out, started doing this more, and we just what are our strengths? I hated Wizard Rod. I would play Wizard Rod because I had the arm length, the pull strength. I could just dominate the whole stadium with it.
Mm-hmm.
I did that one tournament, the last deck format at level X, which was, deck format. I was just so tired of, playing deck format. I'm like, it's broken. I'm going to prove it's broken. And here's Wizard Rod. The one thing I hate, I'm going to prove that I can do. And I went undefeated to top 8. I think I got 3rd place. I was beaten by Wacko Carnival, I want to say, with Wizard Rod on Wedge. And so we just kind of stick to our strategies. I'm more stamina because I just got that pull. I'm not really great at aiming for certain targets on the stadium. I just kind of stay in the stadium. That's my whole strategy. Because every person I tell who's new, you just got to keep practicing your launches. You don't want to get yourself in the pocket. That's just my goal. That's how I play. Don't self KO.
Yes.
That all makes. Yeah, don't self KO. That's a big one. I do that too much.
Yeah, especially if you got the self points already, and then you self extreme. That's 3 points on you already. Or at some events, at least here in Minnesota, we got the yellow card, red card. So you have one grace period if you do self extreme. So absolutely.
Yeah, there was some commentary on that this past weekend. I think for players who take it a little more seriously, it's tough because even in ranked here, you guys got to remember, and you probably know more about this than any of us since you've been around the longest. But it used to be ranked in Minnesota. There was always red card, yellow card, or only 1 point for self KO. That's kind of changed recently. And I think the more serious players, now that it has changed, they don't like using those old rules anymore. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Especially when they see their opponent, just mega launch and self KO, and they're already thinking, oh, that's 2 or 3 points for me. And it's like, oh, yellow card. And they're like, and then they wind up losing the next round. It sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not ideal.
It's
Especially from a player's perspective.
Well, and here's the thing. Part of the game is responsible launching, right? People once the bays are flying around in the arena, there's a lot of randomness that goes on. There's a lot of luck and a lot of chance. One of the few things you really can control is your launch. So when you're giving free passes to terrible launches like that, I don't know if that's actually good for the game. And I don't think it's good for players being forced to improve, Yeah,
and if you guys do need a little bit more launch techniques or anything else like that, definitely check out one of our previous episodes. Episode 17 for launch techniques should be able to help you out with a little bit of that as well. So can you kind of go more into more strategies on how more people can kind of attempt to raise their WBOs rankings, their egg?
Oh, besides launching, I really hate to say it, but you need to have a meta deck. I hate Wizard Rod because it is literally unbeatable, and the only thing that beats it is Clock Mirage, which is super bursty.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Very true.
Which the burst depends on the ratchet as well. My ratchet finally went to crap after 2 weeks of gameplay, but I have a bunch of 455s.
Mm-hmm.
But double-edged sword, 455s, I don't want to go through them that fast, but at the same time, that's all Hasbro seems to be giving us are these damn simple ratchets.
Well, I mean, I guess the other question is what the hell else are you going to use a simple ratchet on? You know, like realistically.
Exactly.
N-
Yeah.
As of right now, nothing except for clock.
Yeah, and listen,
Whale.
I mean, you
Throw
could
that-
use it on a whale.
Throw
Throw
that
it on whale, yeah.
M85. That does some damage,
Oh, sometimes I forget M85 is a thing.
right?
Yeah, I don't even.
This is
I know it's technically a simple ratchet, but I don't think I consider it the same way.
which one? Which one pissed me off? One of these. Okay, right here. This Pegasus brush, right? I'm reading the package or online, and it's a Pegasus brush M385W. When I see M385, I thought it was gonna be a metal 385, and when it was plastic, I was upset.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
M is for the assist blade.
I hate CX. I hate the assist blades.
So
Yeah.
the only thing I'll say is the positive is before that, the only way to get massive was off the Whale Flame prize bay. So it's good that they gave us another chance to get massive. But yeah, I understand. Like CX is not everyone's favorite line, and I don't think you're the only person who feels that way about it.
No.
Yeah.
I besides like maybe Valkyrie, which is good, and what?
It's not even Valkyrie that's good. It's the
It's a
lock
chip.
ship.
It's
like,
a chip. Yeah.
Like
And
it's
then
Pegasus,
Pegasus. Yeah.
Blast, and then maybe Emperor, but not too many people run Emperor.
Yeah, but other than that, like CXs are pretty bad.
They're top heavy.
Yeah, Emperor, like again, like it's okay, but really the reason people like Emperor is it had a much cheaper metal lock chip. And then the mighty assist blade is actually pretty good.
Yeah, because it's
Like,
weighted. Yeah,
I think
Like,
we all.
for me, all the CX bays, I don't care about the top. I care about the ratchets. So the soul that we got in this latest booster, I only want the ratchet. I don't care about the bit. I don't care about
What's the ratchet? Is it a 60 series?
It is a 970, but it's white and pink.
Yeah.
Oh, you like the color? Yeah.
I like the color. And then with Pegasus brush, it's the wedge. That's it. That nice blue wedge. And I also like the blue, but I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use it.
There's actually two wedges in this new random booster.
There
Mhm.
are, and they're both blue. Just two different colors. Not one's more teal, one's light blue, but it is.
Yeah.
We got 4 different wedges now.
Interesting.
What 5?
5. Oh, that's right. There's a gold or yellow one too.
So yeah, so you have the black wedge that we
Mhm.
all have here in America from the Dark Perseus. Then there's the white wedge from the CX, I believe 04 Stadium set over in Asia. And then you have these two different blue ones that Egg just showed you. And then yes, there is a G3 prize bay, similar to how Wizard Rod was the one for season 1 or whatever. Dark Perseus is the new one, and that does have the gold wedge. And that's pretty dope looking.
Yeah. I think we all can agree, like, the concept of CXs were there, but it's overall they're just really not good. Being able to watch or play and build like more into the game is awesome, but just being so top heavy is absolutely awful.
Yeah, that was a big mistake, and I don't know how they would have fixed it. Maybe if they'd put more of the weight in the assist blades and less in the top, maybe that would have helped. I don't know. But really, when it comes to meta, because we're talking about WBO, we're talking about raising your meta. That was kind of how we got into this. It's pretty much the Pegasus blade with either mighty or wheel, depending on your preference. And preferably, I think most people prefer a metal lock chip, and that's it. So you have technically 2 different metal lock chips, 2 different assist blades, and Pegasus Blast, and that's really what's kind of competitive right now out of CX. It's a pretty limited amount considering we have 11 CX releases at this point. Now, speaking of CXs, like, what's your opinion on this new? There have been people who have been running Wriggle Kraken, because I believe that's the echo of Arc Wizard, and it has a different weight distribution.
Oh,
So apparently it's considerably better than Arc. Have you heard about this yet?
I haven't heard about it. I've got one loose, in pieces, but I just I don't care for CX, so I don't really pay attention to it, so I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, so the Arc Wizard, the big problem with Arc Wizard was its weight distribution was really wonky. But apparently Wiggle Kraken being an echo of it moves the weight to a different part of the blade where it's more stable. So
interesting.
lately people have been trying to work with Wiggle Kraken. I assume I still don't think it's like meta. What I assume it is some people want to run 2CXs and Pegasus Blast is the obvious first choice. They're trying to figure out where to put their second metal lock chip at, you know? And I think that's what they're trying to do right now is the Wiggle Kraken.
And I guess Kraken is a slightly heavier as well.
An Echo that's heavier? What?
It happens very occasionally. What was the last Echo that was heavier? It was the only other one I can think of is Optimus Primal, right?
It's probably like the Jurassic Park one's a little bit heavier.
I don't think so. No, I think the only other one I know for sure is a little heavier is Optimus Primal. That's why that Transformers pack is a little rarer than the other ones because it's a little better.
Yeah.
I never got it because I don't have Amazon.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I know you have some opinions on that.
Strong opinions.
Well, speaking of product, so everyone around Minnesota and everything knows you locally to vend at all like Minnesota Beyblade X events. So can you kind of go about and tell us how you kind of got all started vending at any events and where'd you actually get all started with that?
Like I said earlier, it was more to bring stuff in. It actually started before that too, where I would go for my job. I drive around the cities a lot. I go to certain offices, do certain work, and then in between, it's like, okay, I could take my 15. I could stop at this Walmart. I could stop at this Target, pick up, bays I don't have. And I was like, oh, well, this at the time Roar Tyranno was rare. So I picked up an extra one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I picked up an extra rod, Tyranno Beat, just a couple extra things, and that would bring them to tournaments and stuff. And just happened to have it accidentally drop out of my bag, and someone would be like, ooh, I'd be like, oh, you like this? You could buy this off of me, just pay me $5 extra more. It covers gas and taxes. And people bit. I'm like, oh, then I'm just going to keep doing this. And then immediately started importing. It was like first releases, and then with that money in between releases, I would just go on to like Bays and Bricks, Molotoi, Sarua. I keep forgetting how to pronounce it. And then just all three at once, just kind of whatever's cheapest, and then just start piling up lists and stuff. And it would all mostly go to one site. Sometimes it would do better on other sites. And then just order it all at once, bring it to the next event. And I kept doing that until I got burned on Scarlet Garuda. I bought, I think, 6 or 8 of them. And then immediately, as soon as they showed up to my apartment, they came out in Hasbro, and they were all over the cities. So I got burned there. And then I did a couple more imports. So it was like launcher grips, ripcords, stuff that people don't typically have, some battle passes. And then the tariffs hit, and not just hit, but they hit hard, where it was like, hey, we don't care if it's $5, you're still paying a tariff. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to back away. I don't want to deal with tariffs. I just don't want to deal with tariffs and all this other stuff. And I just kind of stuck to more Hasbro. And with the newer launches, like, I'll get a small stock in, like with these booster packs. I was like, well, I'll order 10 and sell them, whatever. But then I was like, well, Danny's got more. He's got the exact same stuff. Why am I doing this? Let's just part him out. And then on top of that, I came in with my trunk. You've all seen my trunk. It's a rolling chest.
Yeah, it's literally a big ass like a big tote. Think of just a big ass tote on wheels with a
tote, yeah. Big
Yeah.
tote that he just got, just chilling.
This guy right here. It's all blurry.
It's a little blurry, but yeah, I think we
It's blurry. It's the background.
yeah. So
I
it's just
brought that in. I didn't even ask. That's the crazy part. I didn't even ask. I wheeled this big chest in right past the store manager
was this
and
cracking?
started setting up.
Yeah.
And I got a little panicky because I didn't ask. I put up a flyer saying, every $10 you spend, I'm gonna do some raffles. I got whale waves.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I had like a
When
deck
we were-
box. I had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, when we were in the small
And-
room.
Yep. And
Okay.
up here comes the store manager. I'm like, oh, he's gonna tell me he wants a cut or something. He's like, hey, so I see you got this flyer for raffles. We got tickets you can just use. I'm like, yo, what?
What?
He didn't even yell at me. And I pull out my tickets. I'm like, nah, bro, I got you covered. But yeah, he loves me. I do some stuff for the store. I gave him a bunch of signs this past week for the high traffic areas. But yeah, the other part of this too, I have a 3D printing business, digiprintarcade.com, where it started off with like fight sticks and stuff, where we were just trying to make some bezels for TE, Bad Cats, TE, TE2 plus fight sticks. We're starting to do some other stuff there. I wanted out, to be honest, because I don't care for fighting games. But then when Beyblade started happening, I'm like, I can make my own stuff for Beyblade, and that's where my 3D side started really blowing up. Because now everything I make is Beyblade centered, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that was actually like you've done a very good job expanding on things, because like that we definitely like had discussed some things we wanted to talk to you about, and I had specifically pointed out tariffs, which you already mentioned.
Yep.
And also the 3D printing component of it. So would you say that because you've been able to design and print 3D printed accessories for Beyblade, has that kind of upped your excitement level for 3D printing as a whole?
Yes.
And would you say like the 3D printing that you do offer, that's a pretty big component of your Beyblade business now, is it not?
It's starting to be. I've made pretty much one of every color that I had for deck boxes, and I only have 3 left. I've got some made. I just got to do like the inserting foams and the feet, put the stickers on, make sure they work just right. It's getting down to the point where I need to get another printer.
Wow.
Dang.
No shit.
Are you gonna go the budget route and do another like P1S, or are you thinking about the P2S with the filament thing and all that?
It depends, because like I got the P1S, the bamboo P1S. It does have the filament changer.
Oh, okay. So you did get that new one's even better though. Have you seen that? It dries the filament right in there.
I haven't seen that, but for me, that's not a huge issue.
Okay.
I got cats, so I buy Tidy Cat litter that comes in the pails. Yeah. Tidy Cats. You can fit 5 rolls of filament in that tote very nicely.
Oh.
And because of my job, just to get a little preview, a little bit of what I do install some x-rays in some offices. And with those x-rays, they come with these nice big drying packs. So I dry those in a food dehydrator, make sure they're nice and dry, throw those in with the cat litter pails, and I make sure those are also dehydrated. Like before I threw the filaments in these cat litter pails, I dried the crap out of them first. So that is all good. And plus, inside of my 3D printer, it tells me at least the humidity, so I can kind of keep an eye on that and swap out that packet if needed.
Oh.
That's dope. I mean, that's great. It's been really great to have 3D printed accessories at Beyblade, because to be honest with you, at least me personally, I know some people love it, but I don't love the Takara Tomy grips. I just don't. So to have different options available at events, and deck boxes are another big one. The deck box offerings from TT are not, it's that flimsy plastic crappy one. It's not very exciting. The 3D printed deck boxes are just better in every single way.
Yeah, I do need to come up with my own design where each bay opens individually. I do not like how it slides open, but at the same time, I do like how it slides open where I can reveal one at a time. I don't like that one. I like the one you
Yes.
got there, Cake. I do not like the bento box style, to be
Yeah.
honest, because it's the whole top opens up, all of them are revealed, at least with like the sliding door. I'd like to take it off, stick it on top, so at least one of the hinges are inside, and that way it kind of just lifts up. I can just take the one bay out, it keeps the other three hidden.
Yeah.
Yes, it doesn't really matter if my opponent sees which three I have, but it's more of a they can't plan their next launch while this match is still going.
Very true.
No, I mean that's totally fair. You know, Egg, because of those white attachments we use, the box that I really like recently is that one that Acuna ordered for the state championship. Because that does have the garage door style, but you don't have to do it all the way. And the fact it rolls into the deck box, that's the only thing I don't like about the ones that you have done in the past is that you can set the lid on top, but you can't like within the white box, you can't have the lid in the track and slide because it bangs on the wall. But that garage, if you could design a garage door style one like that, I think those would sell amazingly, probably to the point where you could even sell them on Etsy and something like that and make more money that way too.
So I do avoid, okay, so I don't sell on Etsy because I don't like Etsy's business practices. If you get a coupon in your email that says 50% off, you buy from me using that 50% coupon, I lose 50% of my income off of that because I have to honor that even though it's Etsy's coupon.
That's
terrible. That's terrible.
So,
That's weird.
So if you are interested in buying any of my product, you can go to digiprintarcade.com where I currently have I got my Star Wars bit boxes and the bit holders currently up there.
I'm telling you, make one of those garage door style deck boxes, bro. You throw them up there, they'll sell, and you'll sell a lot of them, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so
I gotta sit down and do some designing.
So all of his links will be down in the description. Anything that he's talked about, all of his links and everything else like that, will be down in the description. So definitely check him out at the end of this podcast because we got so much more to go with Egg. We got so many more questions and everything. So do you have any other plans with your 3D printers to make for Babe, like more grips or anything that's kind of in secret right now, or what do you got planned out in the future?
You did catch me. I made something.
Oh.
This is a prototype. I didn't like how it turned out. It's gonna get a new revision.
A display?
It's
yeah.
It's a sign.
It's a sign.
Well, sort of. It's a
Ooh.
Come on.
Turn on.
Oh,
come on.
I forget. There we go.
Turn on.
Bam.
Yeah, see, that's sick. That's sick. I love it.
Oh.
Does it change color?
Right here we're missing.
Oh, that's a good question.
And right here didn't turn out well, which is fine. All I need to do is add. It is a prototype. So I'm going to add some lights on the side. Change where the screw holes go. And then I'm also going to make it shorter as well because it is a little thick.
It's really thick, yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with being a little bit of thick.
I
went off the design.
Cake likes the thick.
Yeah. I went off a design for the sign I made for a fighting game event. I'm going to pull it out here. I just got to plug it in. And break a drawer in the process.
That's okay.
It's all good. So this is a sign I made. If I can get my face in here so it's all happy.
Nice.
Whenever it's happy. But yeah, so I messed around with it once before. This was like a first attempt and it worked out really nice. The Beyblade sign I created after having a few drinks. So
hey, it looks sweet though. I'd probably buy one for the podcast and everything.
Yeah. So it's a work in
I think
progress.
That's a smart, like a little cool background prop or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Egg, I wanted to ask you about something earlier. We touched on your vending. You talked specifically about a story about vending in Chicago, and I know you did vend in Chicago. But that was only one component of the trip, right? You didn't go to Chicago solely to vend. You went there to play Beyblade, right?
Correct.
So something that we don't have a ton of in this country, but that we do have some of, are these kind of weekend long or multi-day Beyblade tournaments, events. And I think a lot of players at least like the idea of going to something like that at some juncture when it makes sense and is relatively close to where they're staying at. But what I wanted to ask you about was how did everything work for that trip? What was the, so for everyone who's not familiar, we live in Minnesota, okay, right in the Twin Cities, the Minneapolis area. And the event that I'm referring to that Egg went to is in Chicago. So that's about a 7-hour drive, correct?
Yeah, 7-ish.
Yeah. So what were the expenses like? Because I think that's what people really worry about is, hey, if I'm going to go drive 6-7 hours, to a neighboring city for an event, how much am I going to be out of pocket? You want to talk a little bit about the expenses for that and how that kind of all played out?
Yeah, so actually we do have I have a pinned message already saved for this because I ended up going with it was Wayward, Akuna, Sam, and myself.
Okay.
So there's 4 of us. The hotel was $420. So that was going to be about $105 per person. The downside was this hotel also charged for parking, which
Oh, no way.
they did charge for parking, which would have been about, let's see, for per person was about $105 for the hotel. And we kind of guesstimated on parking because there was 2 vehicles. They were very vague on the rules for parking. So we were like, okay, let's just say it's $130 for parking for the 2 vehicles, the 2 nights, whatever. Found out when we got there, the 2 vehicles counted for 1 room. So we only had to pay for 1 vehicle.
Oh.
And we got lucky and unlucky. So double-edged sword once again. Our AC unit just went out while we were in the room. It was grinding away and then just stopped. Got seized right in the whole blower unit.
And remember, this is 4th of July weekend, so it's hot as shit.
4th of July weekend. Yep. And we're like up high too and everything. It was like it got hot fast. So I went down, we got a new room. We had to switch rooms. And then when I went to go pay the next day and check out, I asked, well, hey, since we had to switch rooms, can we do something about, having to switch rooms? Can we get a little bit of a discount or something? They're like, well, no, you already paid ahead of time, so we can't give you a discount. But you can have a free cup of coffee, which was already free.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't drink coffee. It gives me a tummy ache. It makes my tummy hurt. Okay, well, you can get some chips and a candy bar from the concessions. I'm like, really? I had to switch floors. There was 4 of us. What do you mean you're going to give us some candy? Well, we can't give you anything on the room. I was like, okay, how about this? Give us 1 free night of parking. I was being nice. 1 free night. They're like, okay, you can have free parking the whole weekend. I'm like,
oh,
so that dropped quite a bit on the expense.
So they went from cup of coffee to candy to, let's just say, $40 for parking for a weekend, $50.
It was about $100.
$100.
So first off, that's great. I'm glad you got that, and I'm glad they went from a cup of coffee to that. But my question is, why the fuck, when you were already paying to stay at a hotel, and you were there 2 nights, right?
2 nights.
Yeah, so that room was $200 something a night, and then I got to charge you another $100 in parking. Like, that just doesn't seem like the best hotel. That's my thought.
Yeah, it like no slam to the guy who hosted, but yeah, that was a horrible hotel. He also got ripped off as well because he paid premium money to get Wi-Fi and access to high-speed internet so he could stream this event, and they just didn't provide. Like, the internet was dog trash. It was no good, so he just lost all of that money, didn't get it refunded.
That's awful.
Yeah, and the space it was hosted in was pretty slow to, or pretty small too. So it just didn't work out overall.
Yeah, I mean, I heard, and this is just through the grapevine, but yeah, I heard that because of all the fees and the amount that he had to pay for the event, I heard the pricing wasn't as good as it could have been because there was all this other stuff that
It
was
was like
paid
Hasbro stuff or
for.
what?
It was like old imported stuff. Like the team event, it was the winning team all got the same. What's the team buster? The soccer buster.
Yeah, the FC Barcelona drum buster.
Barcelona, yes, the buster.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just
not bad.
It's
all
not
right.
bad, but
So, Martine, my understanding was that wasn't just the prize for the team. Apparently, there was just a lot of FC Barcelona drawn busters. Guys, what I have to assume, importing some of these like rarer, more niche bays myself, is the organizer was probably on a Japanese proxy site. They probably had a deal on like 10 or 20 of them, and that was what he
And then
bought.
he just got a lot.
Yeah, and then he just got a lot of them, and then he had to find a way to use them up, because that's normally the issue. You can get some decent prices on some of this stuff, but you almost always have to buy 10 or 20 of them at a time of the exact same one. And then that's what happens. Like, so now what about gas? What did gas wind up being for this 7 hours there, 7 hours back?
depends on the vehicle, of course.
I mean, there's gonna be some variance.
Yeah, I drive a Kia Soul. The gas mileage in that is pretty good. So it's about $20 to $25 to fill. I would say fill 3 times, so maybe like $75 in gas at most.
And that's round trip.
That's round trip.
Round trip.
Yeah, your vehicle gets what, 40 plus on the highway?
I don't pay attention.
I mean, it's probably crazy. I mean, you have a small, like, compact, like, fuel-efficient vehicle in comparison to the average American,
Yeah.
Now, you brought 2 cars, you said. Can I ask what the logic was behind that?
So Wayward had to, I think Wayward had to watch his kid, of course. So he wanted to go later. And Acuna ended up wanting to go later as well. At first, it was just going to be Sam, myself, and Acuna. We were all going to head out first. At least that was the original, first plan. And then I guess either miscommunication or something's changed. And then Acuna wanted to go later. Sam and I wanted to be there early because it's like, well, we got the whole weekend. We planned this whole weekend. We want to max out our time in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it just happened to work out when Wayward left. It was the same time Acuna would leave. Wanted to leave, and then the big part now that I'm talking about this was because Wayward wanted to bring his own vehicle just in case, because since he has a family, just in case he had to go back home.
Yeah, to go
Like
back
if there's
home.
an emergency.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
And I suppose if I'm really being objective about it, I've seen your vehicle. I don't know that 4 people and their Beyblade stuff and their clothing was all fitting in one vehicle.
And a kid.
And Wayward brought a handful of stands for the event and to sell at the event.
Yeah, so there's just no way
yeah.
that 4 people, all of their luggage was going to fit into a Kia Soul. That's just not possible.
Or at least very comfortably.
Well, I mean, I don't know. So not Beyblade related, but real quick, I did a trip out to Jersey City this summer. We drove 20 hours each way, okay? And there were 4 people in the car, and I mean, it was tight. I mean, my car was packed to the brim. Like, it was a lot. So, yeah, I can imagine 2 cars is probably better. Now, the last question I wanted to ask you, and I don't want to make this personal in any way. This is just kind of an objective question. In the future, if you were to go to another event like this, did you like going with a group? Or do you think that maybe for some people going on their own might offer more autonomy? And they could maybe do some different things they might not be able to do when everyone's kind of relying on them.
For me, group. For Beyblade, group, because then you always have someone to hang out with. At this hotel, we decided to stay at the hotel, and I pushed for this to try to get more networking in. But after the event, there was nobody. Like, it was a dead scene. Everybody went back to their rooms. Everybody went out for food. Nobody was hanging out in the lobby, which was a shame. So I would say for at least your first event, if you're going to go to Chicago, Maybe Texas or California if you're gonna do Toronto. Probably if you can bring a friend at least. If not, try to make more friends. I know with this con that we did back in December, I'm gonna go. I ended up having to get a room after a VIP drink. It was a great drink, I'll just say. Next time I'm gonna plan ahead, get the whole weekend, and then just get a room to myself. That way I can just go crash whenever I want. I ended up rooming with a random person, which was fine. It just got a little weird where it's like, okay, are you cool? Am I cool? Are you gonna be like super loud? Are you gonna come in with a handful of people in the middle of the night and party more? What are we gonna do here? It worked out great where I was like, I'm going to bed. We text each other. All right, I'm going to bed. I woke him up. We're like, just go back to sleep. We're good. It worked out fine. So that's another thing you got to watch out for when you're, if you've never bunked with anyone before, it could cause problems, especially if it ends up being a party scene and one person's a party person, one person's not, or one person needs absolute dead silence and one person needs white noise. That may cause a little.
Somebody snores. That's another one.
Yep. There's that
like-
too. But
There's
as
a lot of
long as you're
variations.
a lot of
Yeah.
variations. But if you're going with friends, especially if you're close with them, it's always a blast.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Now, this is something we normally ask at the outset of the show, but we're kind of just talking on this one. It's not so much a set of questions, so I'm curious. What's your favorite X Beyblade? And I don't mean from a power perspective, like not like what's your most meta Bay. If there was one Bay that resonated with you as a human being, what Bay is that and why?
I am not prepared for this. I'm looking at my wall. I'm not really seeing anything there. Like the biggest one I've been liking to carry around is the Mammoth Tusk that
The
is
Mammoth Tusk.
painted black.
Oh,
And I throw it on the 160 from that Buster, and then back on that Elevate. I just really like that pink and black color combo.
that's sharp.
That is beautiful.
I like to show this off. Be like, yep, this is the new Beyblade. This is one I carry around because it's pretty. It's in great
pretty.
shape, and then I can just show people. It's like it's 3 parts. Like this is the one thing I always like to show off. It's 3 parts. But yeah, I like the colors on this one a lot.
You liked that. You liked that Wizard arc a little bit, didn't you?
The Wizard art colors really called to me. Yep, it was also pink and black. It's more magenta, but yeah, I do like the colors. I do like the low orb. I really like rocking low orb on my Hover Wyvern. Except 2 weeks ago when I swapped it out with a different ratchet. I used the piss yellow ratchet 360 from Nightlands, the new one that came out here in America, the Hasbro, about a month. Yeah, no, that's Whale Wave.
That's well.
No, but you said piss, and I had this thing on my desk, so I had.
It's close, yeah.
Piss whale.
That ratchet is real tight on the Hover Wyvern, and both of my Hover Wyverns, both of those ratchets are tight. I got a second one, and then I swapped it out with the dark green 360. I think it comes in the shark set scale. Kept bursting, constantly kept bursting.
Yep,
F in the chat, dude.
that's
Right.
great.
So Mammoth Tusk, I love this one. I love the colors. I love showing it off. But my favorite Bay overall is Hover Wyvern, 360 low orb.
That's fair.
What?
And that kind of leads into the second question, which is more about what is actually meta and what you like to play. What's your deck right now?
It's mostly it was cycling through. My main deck right now is Hover Wyvern 360 low orb, of course Wizard Rod 160 hex, and then the Shark Scale 960 low rush. I do
Okay.
like to swap out the Shark with something else that's more of my wild card, but I've been sticking to Shark because it's been giving me results. And then back to that one of the earlier questions where you were asking like what to play and stuff like that. When I say play meta, I like to do 2 metas and then 1 wild card.
And to be
Right.
fair, I think players can afford to do that. I think if you're bringing Wizard Rod and then either Shark Scale or maybe Hover, depending on your personal preference, I think the third bay can kind of be something that obviously it can't be Knife Shinobi or something, but I think it can be something a little more to your taste. I know some of our players really like Whale Wave in that slot. Scorpion, I know, is one that Cake likes. Some people like one of the Samurais. There's a few different ones. Night Mail is really popular in Minnesota. I think
I
that's
was
what
running Night Whale.
I think that's what Mad Hockey Ref was running as his third when he won the 48 player ranked the other weekend. So there's a few different things you can do there, and I do agree with that. Two meta, and then something that's still good but doesn't have to be like super duper meta.
Right.
That's good advice. I like that. Now this is going to be a controversial question, Ag, and I don't want you to feel like you have to call anybody out or take any personal shots, but this is kind of two parts to it. What are some things that you think the Minnesota scene is doing well? And then the follow-up will be, what are some things you think that we could improve upon here as to how we handle the community, how we advertise, how we, take care of potential issues, things like that. Like what do you think we're doing good at, and where do you think there's some room for improvement?
For sure, community is great. I mean, we've ran into two major issues, and I think we've handled it very well, and hasn't caused an issue with those results. At least I haven't seen any issues. I mean, we're all good at communicating. Some downsides are the no-shows, of course. The people who just don't even bother, they'll sign up and then either they'll forget about it or they'll just not show up.
Now, to be fair, that has been getting better since the new year. We've only had one straight up no show at my event, one straight up no show at Sam's event, and it was the same player who's kind of habitually been a problem, and that's going to be addressed. But it used to be like 6 or 7 per event. It used to be pretty wacky.
Yes. We did have one event where, not going to name names or anything, but we had one event. It was at a Level X event, which is very limited. It's like 20 people allowed. And I think there was a group of 4, maybe 6. They showed up, played one round, they all left. They didn't realize it was a multi-hour event where there are like 5 to 6 rounds, depending on how many people at Level X. It's always 5, maybe 4. I think it's 5.
It was probably 4 after they all dropped.
Yeah, they all just left, and I can't remember if they left before the new bracket was made or not, because I was not there. I did stop going to Level X for 2 or 3 events just because the parking. I got hit with bad parking twice, where it was kind of a pain to find a parking spot, and then the area was it's just cramped. So I just kind of needed a break. So I just kind of let more people get in at least those events, and then I started going in towards the end.
Yeah, because it's just a tiny venue. It's
it's downtown Minneapolis too.
Yeah, and it's literally underground, like just the narrow walkways, and you can't even watch any of the games unless you're judging, and even then, there's not much room for 2 stadiums, which I believe that's what they have. It's a great atmosphere. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not an atmosphere for Beyblade tournaments whatsoever.
What I'll say, Cake, is I think that Six and Holly did everything they could with the space at their disposal.
Yes,
absolutely. Unfortunately, they just can't control the layout of a store, and everyone knows, guys, everyone in Minnesota and probably across the country, Beyblade X isn't this huge thing. Not every LGS is lining up to run events for Beyblade. So sometimes we just have to make do with what's available. And I think Holly and Six did a great job with what they had available. Yes. It's just unfortunate that it couldn't have been, a little bigger. Like that, you can say that,
One thing I did like about that store, though, they had comics there, they had statues you could buy, they had used video games. I ended up buying a couple video games, some statues. There's always stuff to look at there as well. if you can get a parking spot, it's nice.
Yes, very true.
No, level up's cool. I used to work for them when they were with their previous ownership, and I always liked what they offered. And yes, the ownership changed, and some locations opened and closed, and things like that through that transition. But they've still kind of kept the same core business model. And yeah, level up always has great stuff to look at. They have Warhammer trading cards, video games, anime figures, comic books, manga, all sorts of different stuff.
Mhm.
It really is kind of a nerd paradise, you might call it.
That's fair.
Things that need improvement, venues. And I'm not saying like dissing any venues, I'm just saying we need more venues. We're down to 2 locations now. Kuna's, I don't think he's doing the library anymore. He switched to South St. Paul. I believe that's South St. Paul and Kraken. Um, I haven't seen him at Kraken for a while. And then of course you and Sam both do at Kraken, which is always mostly on Saturdays. Nothing wrong with that. I just think we need more places, but with Beyblade, with how loud it is, how much space we need, how much floor space we need, it's very hard to find a place. Like
And
I
especially
try
how
keeping
loud
an
it
eye
is.
open, especially how loud it is, because that's like I'll say this: Game Center would be an excellent place to play.
It would be
It's just
amazing.
they charge an arm and a leg to rent the space, and
Yeah.
Mm.
that kind of rubs me the wrong way, just a little bit. I mean, I get it. They're a
Oh, I mean, Egg, I have some opinions on Game Center. Like, there was a time, and I don't know if they're still doing this or not, where they were charging like $10 for you to come in and like free play something. And I'm not talking about per table. I'm talking about like per person.
Yeah, that was during COVID when they had.
Yeah,
that.
it was really
Mm.
wild.
Yeah.
When
That was
they
probably the
changed,
only store that had that too, where it's like you got to go in, or you got to go in and buy food for that.
yeah, you either had to
It's
pay
like-
$10. I think you paid $10, and then like maybe they gave you a food credit or something. It was really wonky, and I didn't like it because it became a big thing for Warhammer, right? Because a lot of people would meet up there and play a game of Warhammer. And it got to be like people were like, yeah, I'm not spending $10 to go play a game of Warhammer, bro. Just come over to my place at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it got to be too much. And yeah, I know there is an issue because Egg, you're right. Game Center would be great in theory, but it costs too much. And we had that issue with Legacy Blader where he had an agreement with them, and then last second they kind of hosed him and had double booked the space.
Yep. There's that too. So like we'll still use Game Center where it's like, hey, there's no turn. Like maybe this weekend we'll go to Game Center, but then again, Lorcana is dropping. I really don't think like any store is gonna allow us to play.
Yeah,
unless we
this
find one.
yeah, it's
cook
going to be
something up.
interesting. I don't know. So Egg, I agree with you. I think there is space for there to be another venue. You know, what I always worry about, and this is, and I'd be curious to hear your opinion on this, is, you know, the reason, I think we all know this, I don't think this is private, you know, the library doesn't allow entry fees. So
Correct.
it did work for Acuna for a while, but only because Acuna has several different sponsorships, right? So he was still able to offer prizing while not charging an entry fee.
If I remember right, he didn't always have those sponsors. I think he was paying out of pocket for those prizes at first.
And I cannot in good conscience tell anyone that they should do that. Like I don't think that's sustainable. Even if an like we all know Holly and Six, you know, we'll give them another compliment here. We all know they came way out of pocket for their prizing at their MNX championship back in November. And that was super cool of them.
Great job.
And I have mad respect for them for doing that. But that is not something that's sustainable throughout, you know, an event or 2 events every single month throughout a whole. You can't do that. You know, it's not good. It's not good. And Kraken, you know, some people don't like Kraken, right? I don't think that's a secret.
Yeah.
But the positive thing about Kraken is they want us there.
Correct.
Like
They are
that's why
excited.
that's why I host there in addition to Sam hosting there, was because Joe wanted Sam to run every weekend, and Sam just didn't have the time or energy to run every weekend. But we have to remember that there are different fees at different venues, and that's a big part of finding new venues as well. It's not just will they let us in there, but what do they want from us?
Right.
Without getting into details, certain stores offer better rates than others, and some of you guys know those numbers, some of you don't. The exact numbers aren't important. The point is, Kraken has a pretty advantageous per head model in comparison to what some other venues might want.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, like,
let me ask you, where would you look if you were looking for a new venue? What would be something that you would go look at?
I mean, I've already looked at a few card places. I mean, I went out way past Minnetonka. I forget where it was. Like anywhere where I've got some free time and I see a card shop, I'm in there. I walk in. I was like, hey, can I take some pictures? Can I look at the place? I'm looking to host some Beyblade. Just trying to find some places. I want to build a database and bring in new organizers, even if they're current players, somebody just totally new off the street that wants to get into this, and just have a database of all the locations where it's possible. Like I got this one place out in White Bear Lake. The basement is completely open. There's nothing down there. No one's renting it. And I just want to go find the owner and be like, yo, can I use this space on the weekends and, throw you $50 or something. That way we could just open lot, go downstairs, works great.
I mean, that sounds dope. I mean, I wish. I wish.
And I know Wayward's got a location that sounds like it's going to be sick if it all works out. I think he's just waiting on the okay, or they're waiting on stuff from the city or the state so that they can use the space legally. So, we're just waiting on that. If that works out, that's great. Because I think it is in a mall, and with mall, that means food. Because that's another thing that if you're ever going to get into Beyblade, you must bring snacks. It is a 4-hour event. You
Or
really
more.
cannot leave. Or more.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you got 48 people, it's more like a 5 to 6 hour event, is what I'm starting to realize. So
Yes.
yeah, because that's the other tough thing, Egg, is even venues that might otherwise allow Beyblade from like a noise perspective. What we have to remember is that these venues generally have a monopoly on their events, right? They are the ones who collect the entry fees. They are the ones who supply the prizing. They make a margin on every prize that they supply because they got it from a distributor at, a bulk rate. With Beyblade, you're essentially asking them, how much are you willing to accept per head for people to be here? And that's what they get, and that's it. And some stores might not like that. They might feel like they make less for use of the space than if they ran Lorcana or Pokemon or Magic or whatever else. But also they do give up some of the control they normally have over how their store operates and how their space is used. And I think some stores don't care for that aspect of it either.
And then most stores, they would much rather do card games because they sell cards. You're there,
Yeah.
you're there playing cards. You want that little boost? Give me 2 boosters.
Yes, that is 100% correct.
Yeah, because I know when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, that it was like $10 entry, but then you got a booster pack of whatever, and then same thing with like Lorcana. It was like $10 entry, you got a free pack plus entry, and then X amount of percent that was brought in was also put into prizing, so it kind of worked out at the end. But we don't have really any of those shops that are strictly selling Beyblade products. I know.
Well, I mean, most of them don't stock Beyblades at all, like zero.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Game
Kraken
Vendors has some.
Okay, so Game Center got some because I think Snug knows someone and convinced them to get Beyblade. But basically, all they did is what it looks like is they went to Walmart or Target and bought whatever was on the shelf, which is basically Wave 1 plus the Hasbro stadiums, and
And the
do
bucket.
exactly what I do and add $5 onto it.
Yep. 100%. That's what.
So like if you're looking for a Mold 2 Soar Phoenix, you can get it at Game Center for $25.
Oof.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. And that's
buy
the
that.
biggest problem is that traditional trading card distributors, I think Aladdin's out of business now, but like Alliance or Southern Hobby or any of the other ones, they don't really care. They don't deal with Hasbro. Like Hasbro is not a company that they normally deal with, so they don't carry Hasbro products. The only exception, and the reason that we've seen those black cardboard displays with some of the newish Hasbro bays and those green stadiums is because Southern Hobby had brought in that specific display somehow. I'm not sure why they brought it in, but they did. So that's why you've seen it at both like Kraken and Dreamers, is they both got it through Southern Hobby. But outside of that one specific instance, I have not seen any trading card distributor that is dealing with Beyblade. I think the exception, and I think they're a storefront, but they also act as a distributor in some context, is Entertainment Earth. I know they carry like trading cards and stuff, but they also carry Beyblades. And somebody had said that they do go through Entertainment Earth for some of their distribution. So, but that's the hardest part, right? So even if a store is willing to give us control of a space in their venue for a certain period of time, agree to a per head fee, they're not going to make any other money. People aren't trading in Beyblades. They're not buying Beyblades. Maybe they buy, Kraken Hits, I'm sure, makes a few bucks from the vending machine, but it's not the same as when people come in for a card tournament where Kraken Hits or any other store stocks, packs, singles, accessories, dice, all sorts of different things that have to do with that game. They're just giving up all that potential revenue. I think if we're looking at a venue and the venue is a trading card store, I think we're looking for stores that are looking to fill time slots.
Yep.
We are never going to come into a venue and be like, hey, put us on a Saturday and kick out Pokemon or kick out Yu-Gi-Oh or kick out Magic. That's not going to happen. They need to have a time slot free. Now, other venues, Egg, like you were talking about, maybe Monday night at a bar when nothing's going on, maybe that's possible because there's not many patrons there. They want to get a few more people in, make a few more bucks off drinks. Maybe an unoccupied basement of a building, that might also be a possibility because there's probably nothing going on down there.
Yep. And I'm definitely looking at possibly starting an adult-only group for Beyblades at a bar, possibly Monday, Tuesday. The one bar I went to on a Tuesday, they had karaoke, so I'm like, well, Monday's probably going to work best because who wants to go drinking on a Monday when they're recovering from Sunday night football? I suppose there is football. It'll be after the Super Bowl. I mean, the big game. Yeah. Sorry, don't want to get copyright strike here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, then once it gets warm, we could just go outside. No.
Well, and that was another thing that I was about to bring up. It's outside is just one of those hit or miss things. We have talked about it on the podcast. Like we can take a luck of the draw and go to a park right down the road. We all meet there. And is the gazebo going to be available, or is little Timmy's 7th birthday going to be there with balloons, and then we're stuck outside kind of roasting, or if it's raining.
So that's the problem, guys, right? With outdoor venues is you're doing one of two things. Either you're paying for the shelter, gazebo, whatever you want to call it, in which case it's really not a whole lot different than it's doing it at Kraken Hits, right? But then part two is that if you're not going to do it, then you're taking a gamble, right? If you assume maybe the sheltered area is totally free and no one's using it, maybe you do just get to use it and it works fine. But if it is being rented by someone else, or even if it isn't being rented, but they just happen to be there first, and you can't use it, now do you even have a flat place to put the stadium stands? Is there even a concrete slab anywhere else at that location? What's the weather like? If it starts raining.
Wayward was gonna do a practice tournament outside at a park, but it was raining that day.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then we looked outside. Oh, it's not going to be so bad. And about 15 minutes later, it was downpouring. So we switched to Game Center because it was just practice. Who cares? It was a practice run for him. But then there's the other, like, even if we do Wayward's spin stands, which you can get here at the cities for $60 a pop, and they're 10 out of 10 products.
Absolutely.
What if it's windy? That's always been my biggest fear, at least with those spin stands. If it's too windy, those are going to go flying.
I never
There's
even thought
just
about
no
the
way
wind.
around it.
Yeah.
Or what if you schedule an event for, I don't know, the middle of July, early August, kind of the hottest time, and you get there, you didn't rent the gazebo, someone's already under it, and you're trying to play out in the sun, and it's 97 degrees. Like that's not safe either. Minnesota is tough. I think you can do outdoor events if you're willing to pay to rent the sheltered space. I think you almost have to if you want to guarantee it's going to pop off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we're not California. We're just not.
Yeah. So when it does come to your events there, Egg, I've, like you said earlier, you've printed out flyers and everything, and I know you've done that in the past as well. Have you found big outcomes because of those flyers, or is it more like word of mouth, or where are you really seeing all the big numbers coming from?
So I was trying to build the community back in August, September. And I did a promo where it was whoever brings in the most people, it was a point system. So you bring a friend and they sign up and they can join, you get 1 point. If the event is full, we're going to use Level X as an example. Level X is full, but there are always like 2, maybe 3 people who don't show up. They drop out last second. If you bring them and they are allowed to get in because someone dropped out, you get 2 points because you took that gamble. You knew that all the spaces were filled, but you did it anyways. You get 2 points. But if they can't make a spot, you get, I think it was half a point. Yeah, it was half a point because they weren't playing, but they came anyways. So that you got at least half a point. And whoever brought in the most people, they ended up getting a Crystal Drake, which was Martin here. You won that. You got, I think it was 4 points. And then it was also All Hail the King, who also tied. All Hail the King said, nope, I don't want it. I don't need it. You can give it to the other guy. So I gave it to Martin. So I turned around and just gave him an Excalibur starter set, so it came with the launcher and the painted bay and all that fun stuff. So he got something anyways, which is well.
You know he preferred that, bro. He loves those hold launchers. He's always talking to people. Hey, do you have any hold? Yeah. I don't need the Beyblade. I just want the launcher. He's always talking about that.
I know he was happy about that. We did ended up getting like a lot of people showing up with that small event. And then with the flyers, I know at least one person has seen them and joined the server because of it. That's all I know.
Hey, that's one extra person than what we originally had. So it 100% worked.
Yeah, and like
I mean, listen, I love the flyers. I love them.
Yeah, like for me, I made them. I was like, okay, let's start getting the word out. I went to the GameStop just down the street from me, and I asked the manager, I'm like, hey, if I bring in a flyer for Beyblade, do you mind putting it up? She's like, yes, I love that kind of stuff on my windows. Get it here. Swap it out as much as you want. So about every month I show up and swap out the flyer. And now I leave a couple at Kraken Hits because Joe wants them. He wants to put them up. And then I'll carry them around with me. When I go shopping, I'll have a couple in my pocket, hand them out if anybody's looking at Beyblade. I now made keychains. I gave Danny one here. It's just a quick QR code. Like it's not Minnesota related. It's just straight up WBO. Any tournament, scan it quick. You're good to go. You don't have to be in Minnesota. You could be in Toronto. You could be Texas. You could be in Mississippi. Doesn't matter. You'll find something near you. Just to get more people into Beyblade.
Egg, I'm not gonna lie. I'd love if there was a keychain that either also had, or maybe just a separate keychain, the link to the Great Plains Discord.
I did have it double-sided, but
all of you have the name tags I made for the community. This backing, I don't like the texture on the back. So that's why I didn't do double-sided. And it didn't turn out very well either because it's so fine print with the filament that the filament kind of oozed over and it just didn't.
Man, do I gotta go
play
get
nicely.
mine?
Yeah.
I
So
got,
guys,
Oh, you
God
don't have
damn
yours
it.
here ready?
No,
I got
because
Field KO's failed one here.
yeah, guys,
Mine's
for
right here.
anyone who
I think you
who
can make them
doesn't have,
smaller for sure.
Make them
I
smaller.
like these.
Yeah.
I like them credit card size.
This is bigger than a credit card.
Oh, it is? Oh,
This is definitely bigger than a credit
It's-
card.
I like the size. Okay, yeah, looking at it, it is bigger than a credit card. I
Yes.
can't find my bag. Oh, I found it. It's right here.
Well,
Yeah.
Well Egg is looking, guys. So he makes these cool name tags. It has your name. I believe you can put your pronouns on there if you want.
Mhm.
You can put your city. If you're a judge or an organizer, that'll also be on there. And Egg, what are you charging for these? Is it like $3? Is that correct?
It's $3 unless you are an organizer or a WBO certified judge. You get it for free. You do not need to be a WBO organizer to get it for free, as long as you are actively hosting events, and then more than one, of course. You can get one for free. If you are a judge and you become WBO certified, you want an upgrade, it will be $3. The first one's free. But if you are not WBO certified and you're not a judge and you want a name tag, $3. And then it's customizable colors. You can get the colors off the website, digiprintarcade.com. Pronouns, because that was somewhat of an issue. Some people were. Minnesota is a trans state sanctuary, so it's a safe space for them. So there is quite a few people in the community. Some people do get misgendered. I understand it is very frustrating, especially if you do keep correcting people. So I gave that option completely optional. You don't have to do it. Some people use their names up there. You can throw up whatever. And then, of course, your main name, your team name, and then if you're an organizer or a judge, and then I just threw down Twin Cities since we're all from the Twin Cities.
Not me.
It's pretty much. It's pretty
Yep.
much.
And what about like Tiger One and Whale One? They're from the Iron Race or something crazy, yeah.
Twin
I
Cities.
can put something else down for them if they want.
Yeah. What about Mecha Max? He's from
Yeah.
Duluth.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't
I can
count.
do Minnesota.
He
Beyblade
could
X.
be the he
said
could be the
don't
Twin
count.
Harbors.
There we go.
He's the
Doesn't
Twin
count.
Harbors. To be fair, I do think Mecha might actually live on the Superior side. I'm not sure though.
I'm not sure either.
He might be a
That's
Wisco.
Speaking of Superior and Iron Range and all that, there is one thing I have noticed. Some people joining the Discord, and they'll ask, "Hey, can somebody come and host an event near me?" Like, I think one was like Grand Rapids or something like that up north, or like kind of Detroit Lakes area. I forget where. And it's like, well, everybody's down here. Nothing is stopping you from becoming an organizer. All you need to do is pass the test. Really, you can host a Beyblade event without becoming a WBO organizer. You can just do your own thing. There's also, what is it, BBX or something like Beyblade X, which is more adult.
Don't do that. Don't
Don't do
talk about
that.
down
Don't
here.
do that.
Akuna's gonna put you on the
We'd
blender.
rather have you doing your own thing than doing BBX.
Listen,
Okay,
I
so
don't
do your
have an
own thing.
opinion. I don't have an opinion on BBAX. Really, I don't know quite enough, but I know Akuna doesn't love it. So,
It doesn't take much to just host your own event. You mostly need to have stadiums. That's the big
Yeah.
thing.
but if you're not hosting a WBO event, you can use the Hasbro Stadium. You can use the Drop It Time. You can do whatever you
Yeah.
want. You know.
You can do anything.
Even WBO, you can use the Hasbro stadium.
Yeah,
as long as
just unranked.
As
Yeah,
long as it's the same
Yeah.
stadium throughout the tournament, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Except for when we want to run a random stadium event. That's gonna be fun. We're doing that at some point.
Dude, I can't wait for that.
I
That's
can't
gonna be
wait.
so much fun.
Well, I know Sam's been. I think Sam's been wanting to do it for a while, but I don't think he's going to, just because I don't think he owns all the stadiums. And he could
He
ask,
has
but
access.
I
But it
know,
should switch ranked to only the Infinity stadiums.
Bro, there needs to be a timer on the Infinity Stadium matches, because that clock mirage going into the pocket and spinning for 2 minutes is not it. That is the
Oh
most
my God.
boring gameplay ever.
That's awesome.
I'm thinking, each player gets a towel, and if my bag goes into that pocket and it's the clock mirage, I can throw that towel in the ring and I'm done.
That's fair.
I admit defeat, and that's going to be 2 points.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And to be fair, most players wanted to do that. They're like, "Hey, can I just pick it up? Like I'm not going to come out." And as per the WBO rules at that time, we weren't supposed. I'm like, guys, we got to just let it spin. That's what Acuna's, the guidelines he's given me. But I do think they need to do something, because that's boring as shit. It's terrible.
Mhm.
It was a new stadium. I think only maybe Nebraska ran it once, so we didn't really know much about it. No one really played with it.
Yeah, half my reason for running it was Acuna had mentioned to me that he was supposed to be forming an opinion on it to bring back to the WBO, and I'm like, well, what's the best way to get an opinion on it? So it's to run an event with it. You get to watch tons of matches and see how it works, what the good parts are, what the bad parts are. So yeah, it just kind of worked itself out.
Yeah, and if anybody's wondering, with that Extreme Stadium, you have to have a hover wyvern, otherwise you're just not in the meta at all.
Yeah, hover wyvern's mandatory. That is the wizard rod circa like 6 months ago, let's call it, of Infinity Stadium. Like, if you don't have it, you are going to lose. You know what my favorite strategy was in that event, Ag, was, I don't know if he was doing it on purpose, but after he did it like 3 times throughout the top 8, I started thinking it might be, was Weird Blader would launch his hover wyvern into a pocket and then let the other bay fucking cruise around and then fly out of the stadium, and then he pop back in and win.
Yo,
That's
I gotta
wild.
remember that.
Apparently that's a legit strategy over in Japan. That is something that players do. Like
Interesting.
you can do that, and it's something that players sometimes do if they're afraid they're going to lose a match. They'll shoot into the pocket, hope that their opponent goes flying out, and then their hover wyvern comes back in. Because it comes back in at like a 95% rate. It's almost guaranteed, as long as it's not going in there as it's dying. Like,
Wow.
That kid does his research.
he kept acting like, it's so bad I shot it in there. I'm like, it's really not, because you've gotten like 7 points throughout top 8 based on launching your thing into the pocket and letting the other bagel flying out. Like,
That's crazy.
it was a fun event. But like I said, they got to have a system for Clock Mirage and Wizard Rod to not sit spinning in the pocket for 2 minutes. That's too much.
Mhm.
Was that ranked?
No, we can't run ranked on Infinity right now. Actually, let's ask you about that, Egg. That's a good question. Have you heard about Masters?
No.
You haven't. I wonder if this is only being talked about. No, because it was part of the announcements. Now, there's certain things I'm not going to say about it, because I don't think everyone's supposed to know yet. But this was part of WBO's most recent announcement, and Acuna shared the post in a public area of the server, so I believe we can talk about it. There is a new ranked format, and it's almost like positioned above ranked. Like, they changed unranked to be called open play, I believe. So we're going to have open play down here, ranked, which is what we're all used to, and then masters, which is going to be the highest tier of ranked play, where all rules are going to be standardized across all venues and all events throughout the entire WBO organization. There's no optional own KO rule. All the rules are going to be 100% standardized. It's going to be the same point system everywhere, not New Jersey plays to 4 points, we play to 5 points, Montana plays to 6, none of that anymore. You can still do all that in normal ranked, but Masters is going to be something totally separate.
Interesting.
So with that, does the stadium have to be a certain height with every place?
That's a good question, and that's actually something I did not ask, but I probably should. I'm going to actually ask that right now, because I'm curious.
because that should be standardized.
Yeah, is it going to be like close to the floor, like the Japan actually it, or is it going to be on one of the like stadium stands that we have over here, provided by Wayward himself?
Or are we going to do
Well-
Hasbro rules and do it straight on the floor?
Well, I'm curious about this as well, because you got to remember that the U.S. qualifying event out in Cali, they were playing on the floor. They were playing on mats on the floor. But
And I
then,
think it was 1v1 as well.
yeah, but then like at Worlds, it was raised a little bit. Like it was very interesting. And then they had like knee pads and things like that. I don't know that they have any idea what they're doing with that, but that's a very good point, because I know it was brought up recently that there was discussion about possibly lowering the standard height here in Minnesota specifically. And I had some mixed feelings on it. You know, I'm not sure if we should be playing lower or if it's fine where it's at. But the other thing I worry about is, how does that affect our infrastructure? Now every single stadium stand that anyone in Minnesota is using, did Egg just disappear?
I'm still
Oh.
here.
Now,
battery
now every single stadium stand anyone in Minnesota is using, whether it's been gifted to them because they're an organizer, whether they won it at something, whether they purchased it for $60 from Wayward, all those become invalid suddenly. And I'm not sure we want to make that big of a change, at least not without like you know, preparing people and because that's a lot of money that's been spent, a lot of product that's essentially now wasted. So I don't know. I have some mixed feelings on it. What do you guys think?
Well, that would be well, I'm gonna call it X ranking because it's Beyblade X. So I'm gonna call this, instead of Masters ranking, I'm just gonna call it X ranking. So this X ranking event would be different, where that would be a standard height versus like the ranking where you can do it on the table, you can do it on the ground, and of course free play. Free play, you could do it in a moving car if you want.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. I'm just curious because Acuna, I believe, was discussing potentially lowering the stadium height, and not just for Masters play, just like that's what he wanted to try to standardize here in Minnesota.
Oh my god!
And I don't know if that's good or bad from a gameplay perspective, but what I can say is I do think it might be difficult from a, you know, everyone already has the current height stadium stands perspective.
I mean, one thing that could possibly be done on certain, I mean, all of them probably could be, is possibly pay a small fee to have them altered, but that would also screw up the custom art most people have already done to their stand.
Yeah,
That's true.
absolutely. Like I got mine custom made by Wayward, and it would definitely just cut out almost my whole design. Because one of the last events that we actually did at Games Enders was he brought one of his little, like the actual stadium stand, not the actual ones that we use right now, but the ones that are actually closer to the floor. And that was different. That was so different compared to the actual standardized height that we're known to use right now. But it's good.
That height is ideal if you are a string launcher user, especially if you're like me, 6 foot tall. I can't. When I use string launcher, it's because I have to use weaker launches. Now, granted, I'm switching over to the proto launcher when I need to do that with the handle, because I can. I've done my measurements. It's pretty much the same power as a string launcher. Except I can still do my full force and still feel like I'm doing the same amount of power from beforehand.
I mean, that makes sense. I'm just curious, like, I listen, I don't have a strong opinion on this. I haven't played on the lower height stand, so I can't really speak to that. But I do think it's something that, like, if we as a community decide we want to change it, let's just do it sooner rather than later. And let's not him and haw for another year about it. Let's talk about it, have an open and honest dialogue, and then make a final decision and then get on. I don't like uncertainty.
Yeah. With some planning I've done with you, I can totally agree that is your thought process for sure, and I agree with you.
I think we should just lower the height.
You do or don't?
We should.
Yeah,
No.
Martine's watching all those videos from the Philippines, right? Where they're stood up and they're like, 3, 2, 1, go
Yeah.
shoot, and I doing one of these like.
We should lower the height.
No, man.
Then encroachment wouldn't be an issue.
Well,
I'll put my butt on the floor.
one of
Crisscross
one of
applesauce
my
that shit.
it's one thing I've noticed recently, and this pertains to the change. Egg, have you noticed this too? We all know that in the newest, or may not we all know, but organizers and judges know, in the most recent iteration of the WBO rulebook, there are now new standards about how we need to be standing at the stations.
Mhm.
I've noticed our community specifically is struggling with that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I've also broken that new rule a few times.
To the point where it happens so frequently that I don't even try to enforce it right now, because I would be enforcing it every single match.
I mean, if you start enforcing it every single match and people start like, hey, you got to start paying attention.
People get adjusted to it. Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be quicker adjustments, but I can also see how annoying that is.
What I think needs to happen, and I'm going to suggest this to him probably as soon as we get off the show here, but since the next official event we have here in Minnesota is going to be at Kuna on the morning of the 24th, I might ask him if he can make an announcement specifically about that, because he is the WBO staff member, has the best understanding of both the letter and the spirit of the new guideline, and just like almost give people a demonstration. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the demonstration is key. Because I can read it all day, I can look at the diagrams, but it may not click.
Absolutely.
And this is coming from a guy who has got a technical standing background.
Yeah, so I think that's what we need to start doing. And then if he gives a demonstration, then I can see what he's doing and then use that same demonstration at Kraken later that day, at my event at Kraken the following week, and maybe we can start getting people in line. I just didn't want to start yelling at people until we had made an official announcement and showed them what they're supposed to be doing, because I think that would be unfair.
I get where you're coming from.
Because listen, we can't expect every player to read every update of the WBO rulebook. That's just not realistic.
No.
There's
Yeah,
probably
no,
players that haven't even read it.
I
some
I
players
know
that
there
can't
are
even
players who
read.
haven't read it. Martine, there are
And-
players that I tell we're playing to 5 points very loudly and clearly, and then 10 minutes later they're asking me how many points we're playing to. So
That's
I
me.
know they're not reading the rulebook.
I still ask, but I always forget. I always got a bunch of stuff going on, but that's me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, what are we thinking, Cake? Probably time to start wrapping up, I assume.
Yeah, I think kind of going to tournament talk and kind of talk about a little bit of this past weekend's event. I personally like to a little bit, and then we can go into up and coming events, and then we can kind of go ahead and send her off.
All right, Cake, I'll make you a deal. Why don't you talk about this past weekend event, and I'll talk about the upcoming events since I have them all memorized.
Fantastic. So this past weekend, I actually took second place in a. It was 28 people. Took second place. My deck consisted of Scorpion Spear, 360 Hexa, which was probably honestly my MVP of the day. It just hit like a truck. Basic, a Wizard Rod 160 ball. Nothing too special. And then Shark Scale 770 low rush. It did some work, but it did not do much as I like it to. It was a good little turnout. I don't know where everyone else is listening from, but at least here in Minnesota, we have had a major hygiene issue, like people coming in being all musty and everything else like that. But I think this past weekend it was a little bit better, especially on more towards the end of it. It was kind of getting all hot and steamy in there, but it was overall it was a really good event. Prizes were $30 for first to Bays and Bricks. Second was 25, and then third place was 20, 15. It was 15 to 20. I don't know, one of the two. And game point was literally down to it was best of 3, best of 4 points each. My opponent and I battleship. We both had 1 game each. Both had 3 points each. So it all came down to Wizard Rod, my Wizard Rod against his Shark Scale, and it went into a good little battle. And then I just went into the side pocket and did not jump out, so costed me the win. But overall, it was a really good experience. Second place is not really too bad. Can't really be mad about that whatsoever.
No, I mean you played great, Cake. I was really disappointed that you didn't wind up going the 8-0. I was cheering you on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that wasn't meant to be this time, but that doesn't mean it couldn't happen again in the future. So I mean,
Yeah.
and you're going to
Ian-
be able to come to a lot more events going forward too, which is going to be great for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And my first ever event going 7-0. I was so stoked. Like one more game, rocking Wizard Rod. I was kind of guaranteeing I had the win. I had that 8-0 in the bag. But like you just said, Vile, it wasn't my time to gain the first prize, but hopefully eventually I will, and maybe it will be at one of these next events that Vile is going to be talking about.
Well, Cake, there is something I want to talk to you about because there was some controversy this past weekend, and I want to get your opinion. And I'm not I don't want you don't have to talk bad about anyone, but I just want to ask you your feelings on something.
Okay.
What was your opinion on being handed a prize and then having it taken back from you? Was that a bad feeling for you?
Oh, absolutely. So for those who don't know, I thought it was the first two places get an additional prize. That was to my understanding. But then we had the $25, or I was handed the $25 and then was told, hey, you can also pick from these. They weren't random boosters, but they were just all like miscellaneous packs.
I believe you had picked a Triceratops. There was like a Triceratops. There was maybe a Samurai Caliber, a bunch of Hasbro starters, and
it was mostly all just Hasbro,
like
except for the Triceratops, which was the only TT item in there. But Battleship did get up the Cerberus random booster. It would have been cool to get, but yeah, then I turned around and then our organizer was like, hell, unfortunately, we did not reach that 30-player cap. So unfortunately, first place is only getting the bay. So second in place is only getting the certificate, when first place is getting the bay plus the $30 to Bays and Bricks. So deep down, it did suck because we could have easily had the 30 players if a couple people that were there signed up and everything. But other than that, it did hurt a little bit. Honestly, it sucked because I thought I was not really entitled to something, but I thought I had something coming.
Well,
and then just ripped out.
Kate, this wasn't a case of you misunderstanding an online document or something. This was, you were offered the prize by the organizer in question and then had it removed from your possession.
Literally.
Guys, I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to sit here and bash anybody. That wasn't the point of asking this. The point was to demonstrate that as an organizer, you need to have an understanding of your own pricing structure. And when you offer a player a prize, especially when it's only a $10 or $15 item, even if you made a mistake, you just let them keep it. Okay, you don't give someone a prize and then take it back from them. That's the worst feeling that somebody can have at an event. And I'll give you an example. We did. You guys remember the random wheel that we did the week before, right, Martine? You were there. Egg was there. Now, I left somebody off the wheel incidentally, okay?
Yeah.
And they didn't mention it to me until after I was done spinning the wheel. I just went in my bag and grabbed them a Hasbro booster and was like, here you go. Sorry about that. You know, I made a mistake. I made it right. And now I understand where I went wrong, which was trying to type out all the names rather than just what I should have done was copy and paste and then just respin if it landed on someone who had left. Instead, I had tried to type out all the names and I'd missed someone. Yeah. So like, that's my mistake. I owned up to it. I made it right in the moment and made the player, you know, happy. And now next time I won't make that mistake again. And that's what I'm trying to demonstrate here, guys. As an organizer, you do not hand anything to a player until you are sure they're entitled to it. And if you do, unless we're talking about some $500 item or something crazy, just let them keep it. And sometimes you just got to take a little bit of an L and move on. You know,
because I literally had it in my hand, and then he was like,
no,
"Oh,
I mean, you had it in your hand, you were walking around with it, and all of a sudden, you know, it's like, oh yeah, you don't get that, by the way, give it back to me. And I think that made you feel bad. I think it's embarrassing.
I would have opened it right away.
nah, I wasn't gonna do that."
See, no, because Cake's a nice guy, but
Yeah.
again, guys, if you're an organizer, whatever, just if you hand someone a prize, just let them keep it. It's not a big deal. I'm sure I understand the numbers, guys. I'm sure that the organizer would have been just fine. Okay, let's just put it that way. With that being said, we do have some upcoming events, right?
Yeah.
So, guys, this coming Saturday, the 17th, Lorcana has swept across the country and has pooped all over us, and we do not get to have any events this weekend. Now, maybe somebody steps up and wants to host a free play somewhere. I will probably not be leading that charge, but if somebody else would like to, maybe Egg wants to, maybe Martine wants to, maybe Cake wants to, maybe someone else on Discord wants to, go ahead and let's try to figure it out if that's what you guys want to do. With that being said, guys, also, this isn't something we normally remind people of, but do remember we have free play at Kraken Hits every Wednesday night, okay? It used to start, I would call it around 8:30 to 9. Right now, I am in a lull where I'm not super interested in going to Raid Hour to hit Genesect for the 1400th time. So I will likely be at Kraken Hits, let's call it right around 5:30 or so. So if people want to show up early, I will probably be at Kraken Hits all night long. I will post on the Discord as well. But yeah, free play until midnight every Wednesday night at Kraken Hits. Starting time may vary. We'll let you know on a week-to-week basis. But remember to show up to those. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the following weekend, we have nothing on the 17th. Following weekend, we have 2 events on the 24th, guys. The first one is going to be doors, 10 a.m., start time, 11 a.m., and that's going to be at Dreamer's Vault, South St. Paul. That's hosted by Acuna. It is a ranked event, and the entry fee is $10. Now, Acuna does a great job on these morning events, especially when he knows there's an event later in the day, to make sure that the events go smoothly, they go swimmingly, and they're done in a timely manner. I think Blader N was quoted this last event as saying, I had 2 hours between when I left Acuna's event before I had to be at Sam's event. So there should be plenty of time for anyone who wants to play in both to leave Dreamer's Vault, to go get some food, maybe stop at a Target and try to find a green wizard rod, and then go ahead and head over to Kraken Hits. For Sam's event, doors at 4, start time is 5. And this, to my understanding, guys, is a semi-limited event. It is not a full limited. We're not playing Drandag or anything crazy like that. But my understanding is there is no wizard rod, there's no shark scale, there's no 160, there's no 960, and there's no rush, and there's no elevate.
And of course,
so
no
as far as
metal needle.
Oh yeah, no metal needle. I don't even feel like I need to say that, guys. Come on.
But I want metal needle.
I know. Maybe I'll run a Hasbro Stadium event at some point because we all have plenty of those we don't care about.
No, I think
and maybe we'll allow metal needle.
It's the Travel Stadium, the Bucket Stadium, and the Double Extreme Stadium can handle it because nobody cares about the bucket. The Double Extreme has that hard plastic on the base, and then the Travel Stadium is just hard plastic.
That's true.
Ooh.
Well, and I just don't think anyone cares about their Hasbro Stadium either at this point. Maybe I'm wrong though.
Or Drop Attack.
But
I care for mine.
Oh my God, that's so nice, Egg. I'm glad you have an intimate rapport with your Hasbro Stadium.
So here's the thing about Hasbro Stadium. I like having that because if I'm going to introduce somebody to Beyblade, it's going to be in the Hasbro Stadium.
It's more fun.
First, it's chaotic. It's fun. It's action-packed.
For a new player who doesn't understand meta and hasn't gotten used to Wizard Rod and things like the Hasbro Stadium is more action-packed. I've actually said that myself on this podcast before, so I agree with you. So guys, like I said, the 24th, Acuna, 10 a.m. doors, 11 a.m. start time, Dreamer's Vault, South St. Paul, $10 entry ranked. And then later, 4 p.m. doors, 5 p.m. start time, semi-limited. That's going to be at Kraken Hits hosted by Sam. $7 entry on that one. And guys, again, Acuna runs his events super expeditiously on Saturday mornings. You will be able to attend both if that's something you want to do. And I encourage everyone to do it. You know, I want everyone to show support to all of our organizers, not just me or not just one location or the other. Everyone should be going to every event they can. That's my opinion.
Absolutely.
Lastly, guys, on the 31st, we do have a 3-on-3 team event, which I am hosting at Kraken Hits, 4 p.m. doors, 5 p.m. start time. I kind of went back and forth, but I decided we're going to stick with the $10 entry on this one because the last team tournament, the pricing was a little light because you got to have pricing for more people. I want it to be a little better this time. So we're going to stick with the $10 entry per player. And guys, this is going to be a ton of fun. The last event was a ton of fun. And Egg, whoa. I know you guys are hiding something from me. Egg, I want to see your face. I want to see your face for this. Are you able to get on camera?
I can maybe, my batteries are dead, but I can maybe get a battery going for a few seconds here. While I'm shoving the battery inside this camera, I do want to announce we have someone looking into possibly doing a free play event at Game Center on Saturday, maybe Sunday. But they're looking into it. They're gonna reach out. Oh, hey, look at that! I'm back in for a little bit.
Look at it.
Let's do it.
So
Jesus.
there's a chance that we could have a free play event next weekend. Just
Where
keep
was
your
that
eye
being?
on the Discord.
Is that being talked about in a private chat? Is that what's going on?
Yes, yeah. It was just brought up to me about 2-3 minutes ago. So
Okay.
there's a possibility. Keep an eye on the Discord. It's the Great Plain Discords.
Okay.
So your question.
Yeah, what is going on? What is going on with this mystery person?
So we got one of our main players, Wayward. He's just going to be gone for a couple weeks. He's picking up some shifts. You know, family life stuff happens. So with this team event, we're 90% of the chance, 90% looking for a third player, which we may or may not. Oh, there I go. That we may or may not have. I mean, I could reveal it, but there's a chance that
No, let's keep it a secret.
I'm gonna keep it a secret because there's it's a double-ended thing. I really don't want to reveal it yet.
You're scaring me here, Egg. I want to know just as much as everyone else, but I will have to wait, I guess, like everyone else has to. But yeah, guys. So team event 31st, 4 p.m. doors, 5 p.m. start time. Get 2 other people for your team. If you don't have a full team, we'll pair you up when you get there. Not a big deal. $10 entry. Going to be a lot of fun. And I think everyone wants to know who Metal Empire is bringing as their third player. So we're going to find that out on the 31st, guys.
Yeah, and there's
not anyone has anything else.
No judgment if you do show up and don't have a team. There was many people that showed up to the last team event that did not have a team. And shit, look at, what was it? The third place winners, the boys. They were
boys.
Yeah, they were like second or third place, and they were just 3 random ass kids together, and they crushed the scene that day. So
it was great. I mean, they're still doing that. They're still doing that chant at events. It's pretty funny. I love it.
Absolutely. So there's actually one more event.
One more. When?
So this one is February 14th. I think it just got posted up on the WBO website today.
Oh, I forgot about that. Good call.
I did too. If I'm told about it and I don't see it in writing, I forget.
So this one is also at Kraken Hits in Friendly, Minnesota. It is.
I also didn't know he'd officially announced it yet. I wasn't trying to like out Sam like that.
No, it's okay. I'm actually the first person to sign up, so hold your applause. Anyway,
I'm the second.
No, you're not. Anyway,
no, that was next week's. I signed up.
So it is a Valentine's Day special duos tournament. So it is $15, but that is per team. Um,
And a team is how many players, Cake?
2.
2.
Yeah,
Not
it-
3. 2. This is different.
Yeah, this is a duos. So pick your significant other. Pick one person out of your team if you choose to. Whatever. Doors open at 4 p.m. and then the games start at 5 p.m. as well. There is a cap of 15 teams, so 30 players in total. And probably the same thing if you do not have a team or have a duo, still come on by. You'll be placed on a duo team, and who knows, maybe you'll bring in a dub.
Maybe you'll meet a special someone. It's Valentine's Day. Come on.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And prizes do vary from how many players are actually involved. So if you guys want to take a look at those,
I heard there's gonna be a thematic prize. That makes sense if you've watched the anime. So maybe that tells people something, maybe it doesn't. But
Now I'm the second person to join.
so anyway, all of that will be down in the description below. Also, we are so close to reaching over 100 followers on Spotify. So once we do, we will be giving away one free Wayward Beyblade Stadium stand to one lucky viewer.
spin stand.
What'd I say? Spin stand? Okay. So stadium.
Yeah, it says it right on there. It says Wayward spin stand.
Oh,
They
okay.
are very nice.
They're so nice. I love mine. I literally keep one of mine in my car. I keep mine in my car, just in case if we need one for like practices or anything else like that. They fold up so nicely. This giveaway is available for anyone in America or one of the province of America. So keep spreading the word about the podcast on Spotify. So once we do get to that 100 follower mark, we will be giving one of those away to one lucky viewer. So it has been an episode. So Egg, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule for coming on and talking to us. It has been in the works. We have been wanting to do this for a while. So very glad that we were able to connect with this one. So thank you so much. And we do really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having me. I've had a blast. I will come back on again. Just give me the heads up.
Yeah, absolutely. Vile, Martine, is there anything else you like to ask Egg or anything you like to say before we send it off? I know, Vile, you're probably good. You've been...
Yeah, I've talked a lot, and it looks like Martina is muted.
Okay, so we will kind of go off of that. So, guys, that was another episode of the Spin Zone podcast. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on every social media. All of our link. Oh, Martine's gone now. Everything will be down in the description below. We do love and appreciate all of the love and the support that you guys have been giving us for 19 episodes now, which is wild. And we are still going. We're going strong. And this podcast is not going to be dying anytime soon. So we do love and appreciate all you guys for tuning in today. And until next time, so long. Stay safe out there, guys. Have a great and awesome rest of your day. Take care. Much love, guys.
Bye.